Okay, we're already on. Anyway, welcome to Vicinity of Infinity podcast.
That's a good name. I like that.
You didn't know what the name was?
I heard you say it before, so I recognized it. But yeah, it's a good name.
Vicinity of Infinity podcast. I'm surprised that wasn't taken, but I'm Joshua, and
I'm Logan.
All right, yeah, this is our first real interaction, really.
Right, yeah.
On here, so
besides, hey, you want to be in my fucking podcast? And fuck yeah, dude, let's do it. Besides that,
along
yeah.
those lines.
Yeah.
So why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Logan. I'm currently going to college to be a paramedic, but I'm changing to pre-med after this semester to go to med school and be a psychiatrist.
So what interests you about that field?
I'm just very medically inclined, I guess. And I know a lot about like medicine, and my entire family does medicine. So
what do you mean, like from personal experience, or from just
I mean, I do
an
a lot
abundance of doctor visits or something, or
no. I have had a really weird doctor experience. That was a emergency room visit, and I know that before we started this session, it was like I told you, like I don't really feel too uncomfortable about talking about anything. What was it, like 2.5 years ago, I was dating this girl, and she was staying at my house for a week, and I went to the hospital at the end of the week, and we didn't know what was wrong until like a year later, and it turned out that I just had like really bad blue balls. Right?
Oh.
So
wait, that's real?
Yeah. No, it's a real
condition?
thing. Well, it wasn't a medical condition. I mean, technically it is a medical condition, but it's like, it's not usually that severe. So they gave me morphine for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, it could be severe.
Yeah, I didn't either. It happened twice. The second time I knew what it was.
Find out a year later?
Because it happened the second time, and I was like, there's a consistency, right? So I was like, I think this is what it is, right? Mm. And my mom, who is a nurse practitioner, she told me, she's like, that could be it. And so that's where we left it off.
Wow.
Yeah. And take pre-measures not to have that happen again.
And so ever since then, you're like, I want to be a doctor.
Well, no, not ever since then. When I graduated high school, I went to military school. Yeah. I went to military school for high school in Virginia, and when I graduated, I wanted to go into the Navy, and then I had like this huge spiritual awakening, and I decided, you know what, I would rather save lives than take them, and that's when I sort of decided that the best way that I can sort of save lives is to get a doctorate and do whatever I need to do.
Well, some people would argue that wars do save the lives of future generations of people. But
yes,
that's a very complex political
It is
topic.
a very complex political topic. I mean, I would say, like, either way, if you want to put it simply, you're still killing people,
Yeah.
So, I mean...
murder is murder at the end of the day. It's
exactly.
like, you're just reinforcing a negative cycle of energy. And like that.
It's like, oh, these people killed us, so in order to be better than them, we have to kill them. So...
So, if you could be any household appliance, which one would you be?
I'd want to be like do you know the what are they called? The Zumbas, the ones that like
Roomba?
Yeah, the ones that clean the house.
So you'd want to be like a vacuum machine?
Well, I'd want to be like able to move,
So like a self-propelled vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, because I don't want somebody else to like decide what to do with me. Sure, like you press a button, but like I want to be able to move on my own.
Okay. But I mean, those things are like, they have some kind of wireless traction. Like you set up the invisible walls. Like I have one in my house, so I know how that works. You have the invisible walls, that you set up so it doesn't like fall down the stairs or something.
Oh yeah.
And then you have like, like it's not completely free.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you're still moving, and I mean, there is like the whole idea of
you can choke on something,
Well, yeah, but you're not going to die if you choke on it necessarily, right?
Yes.
Because somebody can just like reach down your throat and pull whatever that is out of your throat, right? So
it just sounds like an unpleasant existence.
I mean,
but then again, any appliance would be, I guess.
I mean, I guess a fridge, like people put things inside of you to like keep their things from going bad, and then like if something does go bad, then you're sort of stuck with like something that's gone bad inside of you, which is like really
Wow,
weird.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
You have expired food in you.
Yeah. I mean, technically, I'm sure that you have expired food somewhere in your body, but like in like your human body, but you also have a lot of like stomach acid and stuff to break all that down anyways. So, you know, it's very interesting.
So what is your favorite foods?
I'm not too picky.
It's a question I have to ask every one of my guests, just because I'm a food enthusiast overall. So, I have to ask about the food.
Well, I mean, I respect that a lot, actually. Actually today, so I work at KFC Taco Bell to get through college, the one right up the road.
Oh, you still do?
Yeah, I still do. And I'm off today. I'm off every day that I have class, and my class was canceled today.
So you work like weekends and stuff?
Yeah, I work. So the only days that I don't work is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because those are my class days. So
basically all the days I'd be there.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I never make a special trip to Taco Bell. It'd always be like after class or something.
Right.
Or like if I'm already. Yeah.
I mean, the
I
weekend.
Usually just hang out at home on the weekends. But,
yeah. I don't like eating there. I mean, it's fun working there, but
wait, discounts, right?
Well,
it's already cheap.
We don't talk about it, but we sort of just eat the food anyways.
Hopefully your manager's not watching. So.
Well, there's only one manager, the store manager, that really like pays attention to it, and even like she's like delirious to some degree, right? So like.
Just like ruined the credibility, basically.
Yeah. So she doesn't really pay attention. But on like, I guess to go back to the topic, today I made from scratch. I made like fried chicken from scratch, and I like breaded the chicken, cut it all up, did everything. It was fun. And then I don't think that I would say that I have a favorite food. When I was younger, growing up with my dad and my stepmom. My stepmom is a fantastic cook. She'd make like this stuffed salmon where she'd like take a cooking twine and like wrap up a salmon and stuff it with like breadcrumbs and raisins and all sorts of cool stuff.
Raisins?
Yeah, it was weird, but it's so good. That
sounds odd.
Yeah, it is so good though. That, and then one of my really good friends, his mom is the best cook I've ever met in my life, and he's Sri Lankan, and they make a lot of like Sri Lankan foods and stuff like that. And oh my god, she's the only person who can make a mushroom and that I will eat. I don't like mushrooms.
You don't like mushrooms? Oh, come on.
She makes this fantastic portobello mushroom though.
Well, you got it like at some of those fancy restaurants. They'll have like the giant mushroom as an appetizer or something. Yeah. Like I'm sure you'll eat those, right?
Well,
like it's gourmet.
It depends. It depends on how it's made. Like,
what's your beef with mushrooms? Like, why don't you elaborate?
Well, see, I just don't like the texture of them. I like the taste. I do. I just don't like the texture, and I have trouble like keeping them down, I guess. Like I don't like throw up because of them, but like I have trouble like my stomach feels weird after I eat them. And it's not like an allergy. My stepmom has mushroom allergy, which is I guess part of the reason why I never really had a lot of mushrooms, but I never really liked them that much anyways, so it wasn't too big of a deal for me. But
so you kind of just like have complications from eating them now, basically.
Yeah. It's more of like a mental thing, I think. It's weird, but.
So what, like a mental, like from like a traumatic experience or something?
No. I don't have like traumatic
like PTSD from mushrooms or something.
I mean, not like. I mean, I wouldn't say that I have a traumatic experience from eating mushrooms. I never like choked on mushrooms or like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, that's familiar to me because someone in my family actually does. That's a specific food they just won't eat because it's too mentally scarring to them.
Really?
Like, yeah.
What food is that?
Chicken, actually.
Really? All chicken?
Just like anything
that's a
chicken.
Big
that encompasses
thing.
a lot, which is actually quite ironic because my brother actually is who also lives in the house with us is a huge like chicken enthusiast. He eats chicken like every day, so it's like it's polar opposite.
Right. So is like eggs? Is that like different or is that?
Yeah, she eats eggs.
Okay,
like,
right. That makes sense.
Yeah,
then.
I think anyway. Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, for me as a vegetarian, like you'd think that I don't go to like like I don't eat fast food, like I don't eat candy or anything.
Right.
But I do actually. I'm not like one of these like picky, like high class people, like only plant-based organic. I'm sure I will be like that at some point because that's the way to go. That's ideal health. That's how you can live for 2,356 years.
Right.
But other than that, it's like. Right now, like I can't afford to like I'm really poor, so I have to eat fast food. I
mean, I am too. Do you do work at all or no?
Not yet. Reasons I can't really say on here, but I'll be able to work in a few months.
Right. Right. Okay. That makes sense. So what do I want to say? So when I completely lost my train of thought.
Oh, what was it? What was it, like a passenger train or a freight train, or was it one of those like Union Pacific railroad thing? I was just learning about these in class a few days ago, like about the different types of trains, like what kind of train. Like, was your thoughts? Obviously, it wasn't securely held in place on the train coach.
It was like a Mack truck that was like lazily thrown onto a track. Yeah.
So it's like just very sloppily put together.
Yeah,
just
like they had like the wheels, the like metal like rims and everything, but they didn't actually have the rubber. And they just sort of
surprised it. I mean, did it pass inspection or did it?
I mean, I don't think it was inspected. I mean, I guess it passed inspection of like. I know that Florida doesn't have this, but Virginia has like the inspections for cars every like 6 or 7 years, and you have to have like the little like square stickers. You have 2 stickers. A lot of states have them, but like I guess it passed like those, and then like somebody decided to like slash the tires out, and then they just sort of put it on the track.
You mentioned Virginia. Why? Is that where you're from or something?
Yeah, I moved to Florida last April. I lived in Richmond, and I grew up in.
So you're new.
Yeah.
Like, did you move to this area right away, or was it?
Yeah, I have family who lives here. My mom moved down here a while ago, so I've been here before. I just never lived here like full time. Yeah. So
you're like the same thing, only like 20 years behind my family, then, basically.
Yeah, I guess.
Because my family roots can be traced back to Pennsylvania.
Right.
Is where like everybody was on both sides of my family.
Right.
And so then like Florida was a popular vacation spot for them. And so eventually it was like, hey, why don't we just move here? And then so they did.
Yeah, and then they did, and they're like, wow, this is not as good as I thought it was.
And I'm a native Floridian, the first in my family on either side to be born in Florida.
Right.
I've lived in the same city all my life.
Port St. Lucie.
Been here, yeah.
Wow. Can we say that?
I guess. I'm pretty sure it's been said before.
Okay, all right.
So, I mean, they kind of piece it together.
Right, I guess
as long as you don't say, like, my home address or something, but I don't think you know that anyway.
What, my home address?
Mine.
Not yours.
Who cares? Like, that's your loss. Like, they know yours.
I mean,
like, that's not. They're not going to track me down from that.
I mean.
What, you want to say it?
308 Southwest Terraria River Trace.
All right.
It's a gated community. Try and get in.
It's a gated community, okay.
Try to get in. You're not going to get in.
That's like really strict security.
Yeah,
it's like an isolationist colony.
Yeah. We got like 30 armed guards out front. It's like Delta Squad up
military,
in the trees.
Yeah, like a military community.
No, it's not like that. Well, the gate code's actually 1, 2, 3, 4.
Really?
Yeah, no, like no
it's
joke.
One of those. It's like apartments.
No. It's a housing complex. It's actually a really nice area. It's not like super rich or anything, but it's like it's like a middle class sort of.
Is that like by the St. Lucie West or like by?
Yeah.
People are probably GPSing it right now.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. Tab, so yeah, you're not.
Really... I mean, no loss. I mean, we're not too worried about that.
We're not really known for getting millions of views on here anyway, so I don't think you'll have a paparazzi showing up. But.
Well, I mean, even if I do, I mean, I'm pretty photogenic, I guess. So.
Yeah. But okay.
All right.
So what? You don't like Florida then?
No.
Like you kind of hinted that like it's inferior to Virginia.
See, the thing is, with Florida is it's flat. The people are nice, but it's like I grew up in Virginia. You know, like that's my home, and like you know, like I'm not saying Florida's like a bad place, but like. if you're used to vacationing to Florida and like you attribute it to be like a really nice place, and then you move
you
here,
attribute it to like like the once in a while
exactly
kind of thing, and like when it's every day,
it sort of gets old, and
home becomes the vacation place.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's actually exactly right. I'm going back home for spring break, so.
Yeah, because it's like weird, like seeing like when my parents go, back up to Pennsylvania. It's like, well, this is where I used to live. Like this is where I used to work. This is where I was, like what? And now it's just like a museum, basically.
Yeah,
Just
you
like,
just get in a car.
It's where I used to, do all this. Like you have no ties to it now. You're just there as a tourist, Like,
exactly. Yeah. It's like. I don't know how much you know about like. Have you ever been out of the country?
No, I haven't even left the Eastern Time Zone.
Really?
No, I want to go to California. I want to go to Alaska. I want to go to.
My little brother went to Alaska like last year or the year before.
What season?
I want to say it was during the summer. Yeah.
Because in my opinion, if you're gonna go there, go all out. Go in the winter. Go see the Northern Lights.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's probably what I would have done. I'll probably end up going to Canada.
Unless they were just there, like, for something, that was at a specific time, like a wedding or a funeral or, like, something.
Yeah. I mean, my grandparents have family up in Canada.
Nice.
So, I mean, like...
Canada's a pretty chill country from what I hear.
Yeah, the thing about, like, Canada is they all, like... They think that they're better than the United States because... Really? Well, yeah, I mean...
because what? Go on and finish it.
Because they're like, they act really nice, and then, like, you sort of...
Because, like, they have a squeaky clean, like, record and everything.
Yeah, and that's, like... And I know you said that we can say anything on here, right?
Sure.
I mean, like, I guess, like, the Canadian military... Like,
here we go. Listen up.
I mean, it's like compared to like our military, they aren't trained very well, and like they haven't really done anything.
So they haven't like they don't have like a war-ridden history.
No. It's basically
peaceful people for the most part.
It's basically just a bunch of armed guards hired by the government to protect whatever tiny little pistols that they have hidden away. Like they don't actually have anything.
There's not a lot of conspiracies or like like corruption or like.
I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, well, yeah. There's corruption.
Well,
there's
I mean, no more than the average company or country.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, definitely not more than the United States. The United States is the most corrupt country, I would say, in the world.
That's a bold claim.
I would say 100% it's the most corrupt country in the world.
I'm taking a U.S. history class right now, so after this semester, I'll be the judge of that.
All right. I mean, I would say, North Korea is extremely corrupt, but they just like, sure, they like.
I
kill
know nothing
people.
About that.
I mean, they like kill people for like because they want to.
Casually.
Yeah. I mean, but to be fair, that's sort of what happened to JFK, right? So like, we can't really. I mean, but we don't just be like, okay, yeah, this person did this, so we're just going to kill him. We say, hey, yeah, no, this guy got shot by, like, this rogue, like, ex-Marine or whatever.
Yeah,
like
it's mentally delusional.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, this dude that
thought he
has
was a pink
really...
elephant or something.
Yeah, exactly. This dude that, like, can shoot really, really, really well, and he's just, like, out of his mind, he just... You have no idea, man. But, like, I would say Canada is good for one thing in particular. Their science and their programs as far as science goes, and like they have free healthcare, right? So
that's a big one.
That is a big one. And their science is very, very, very like good. I know that's like. I can't
science
really.
Is very, very
good.
Their
science is good. I mean,
sentence.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a Donald Trump sentence.
Their science is very good.
It's gonna be a big wall, a huge wall. It's a really terrific wall.
Yeah, it's a big ass wall. But I mean, like their programs that they have for their sciences and like their biology and their medical science is really crazy. I mean, honestly, I would say that it's not well beyond the U.S. sciences, but they definitely have a lot of potential to grow as a country scientifically. They're not a militant country. And I mean, obviously, like we get tickled and then go and bomb a whole goddamn country. So like, you know, and I mean, like, no disrespect there, but like,
well, I don't know like the full history behind like the whole like Pearl Harbor era.
Well,
like,
yeah.
Hawaii, but I do know that Hawaii wasn't actually a state in the United States at that time.
Really?
So it's like, wait a minute, was that, if the United States didn't even own that territory, and like it was a sovereign nation before we bought it.
Was it?
So yeah, so we didn't have any ties to it. So we weren't allied with whatever those people were. So like, why would we care?
I mean, wasn't...
Like I said, I'm not, you know, I'm ignorant to most of the history.
I mean, Pearl Harbor was a U.S. military base, though.
Oh, well.
So that's...
But why would they have a base on a land that they don't own?
We have tons of bases across, like, countries that we're allied with. Like, I'm pretty sure we have bases in the UK. I don't quote me on that, but I'm
if it's somewhere we're allied with, I could see.
Yeah,
maybe.
and I mean, we'd have to be allied with Hawaii in order to annex them as a state, you know? Like, we're not just going to take over an island and say, yes, this is a new state. Like, for example,
that's
Texas.
pretty much what happened with Hawaii, isn't it? Like, it was a self-sufficient sovereign nation. They were just like their own country, basically.
Yeah.
And we just like, oh, this is nice land. It's ours now.
Well, I don't think it was
maybe it had something to do with gold or whatever, or like some kind of mineral.
I mean, I don't think that it was like an aggressive thing, though. I think it was like, it may have been like passive aggressive, maybe. Like, hey, if you don't like be our state, then we're going to kill all of you. So like, I don't know though. I would have said that they were probably allied to us and they just got annexed like Texas. But I don't have any idea about that, so that's just a guess.
So like, but like, what's your cereal of choice?
Okay. I don't eat as much cereal anymore. I really like granola, and I know that that's like a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oof," but yeah.
I'll go on record.
Yeah. I like
just own it.
Yeah, I like the honey oat granola.
And like I got pumpkin spice granola. From the
man,
farm. So, yeah,
dude, that's so good. I'll eat it without milk. I just eat it out of the box. I prefer it without milk.
You're a real trooper.
Yeah, it's really good. The only thing is that it like...
It's like, in my opinion, it's like drinking black coffee, you know? It's just
I love black coffee.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I do.
My brother drinks it, but for health reasons, not because of the taste.
Really? I can't drink, like, coffee. So the only time when I'll drink coffee that has cream or sugar in it is... at Dunkin' Donuts, I'll get like an iced coffee with cream and mocha. That's as far as I'll go. That and then the holiday.
When it's forced on you.
Yeah.
Or like the pumpkin spice or the red velvet or like the peppermint or like the mandatory ones.
Well, I don't do the red velvet. I love red velvet cake. I love red velvet
funnel cake.
Yeah, I love it, but I won't put it in my coffee. I like the peppermint and I like
there's a time and a place for that.
Yeah, I like the peppermint and I like the pumpkin. I love the peppermint actually. The peppermint's so good. Yeah. But I only do it when it's like released, you know?
So I take it then you're not a fan of milkshakes?
Oh, I love milkshakes. Coffee and milkshakes are different.
Yeah, okay. I can see, you want sugar in your ice cream, which already has sugar.
Yeah.
But not in your coffee, which...
See, the coffee, it's sort of like alcohol, right? It's an acquired taste.
That's actually, it got really popular during Prohibition.
Exactly.
When alcohol was banned, people just became caffeine addicts.
Yeah. And nicotine addicts, yeah.
well, that was always a thing.
Well, yeah, and it always has been a thing and always will be a thing, especially with the e-cigarettes.
Yeah, but I think people will turn to more controversial things to smoke, honestly.
That's true. I mean, I feel like they have. But to be honest with you, I find that a lot of people enjoy smoking cigarettes while they are smoking other controversial things. So, like...
Yeah, that's one thing I don't get. Is, like, if you can smoke something that's, like gonna get you high and, like, all that, and, like, is, like, not any more unhealthy, why would you still smoke cigarettes that are equally, if not more unhealthy, and like doesn't even like, it doesn't give you as much dopamine, like you don't get as much effect from it?
Well, to be fair...
Is it for the social aspect of it? Because it's like socially acceptable?
So the thing is,
Are you one of those people? Is that why you feel qualified to speak on it?
Okay, so...
Oh, crap.
Where's my other one? So I had smoked for a really long time, and I just sort of recently started to stop. Every once in a while, it's fine, but
not like every day or anything.
Yeah, no. Oh, it's in here. But like, so there is like a medical understanding of it, right? So,
it's off camera.
It's a cigar, yeah. So. It's unopened. I got it last night. I probably won't smoke it anytime soon. Maybe, well, I wouldn't say that. Maybe within next week. But see, like cigarettes, nicotine is a stimulant, right? It's just like caffeine.
Really? So it's like an upper then?
Yeah, it is an upper, and not a lot of people know that. Which
some people say they smoke to relax, like
well, yeah,
bed or something. But then again, people drink hot chocolate before bed, or like tea or something.
Well, I mean, smoking to relax is like kind of bullshit, right? Like a lot of people will say, "I'll smoke a cigarette when I'm anxious," which is like really, really bad. It's like.
That's like a sign of addiction.
Well, it's not a sign of. I mean, if you're an addict, you're an addict. I mean, I've been a nicotine addict for a while, but like, if you smoke a cigarette while you're anxious, then it's going to make your anxiety like 10 times worse. Like 10.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like LSD in that regard. It's like you got to go into it with a positive mindset, or else you're gonna have a really bad trip.
Well, yes. It's not as serious.
But yeah, it's like a
LSD.
far less intense.
It's a far less intense. Yeah.
But the same basic principles.
Yeah. Marijuana, on the other hand, which is medically legal in this state at 18,
and completely legal in Canada.
Yes.
Which was, I thought, going to be your big point about.
Yes, I mean that's the other thing.
But
there are actually medical inconsistencies with marijuana, which a lot of people don't really understand.
Like what?
It can actually promote the growth of the parts of your brain that are genetically predisposed to schizophrenia. So it can basically cause schizophrenia if you are genetically predisposed. If it's like a genetic.
How can you tell if you're predisposed? Is that like, are there like things on YouTube you can click like tests, like depending on your answers to these 5 questions?
No.
Are you prone to schizophrenia? Like,
no, I think that all of those. I think both of us know that all of those are bullshit.
Really, like all of them. Like what kind of. Like what kind of partner will you have? Like what kind of job will you get?
Yeah.
Like what kind of.
I mean,
this,
job thing. Like that's always a choice. And I mean, like you can't answer 5 questions and have somebody be like, "Oh yeah, no, you're gonna be like a firefighter based off of your 5 answers."
Well, I mean, how long will you live? Some of these have scientific foundings. It's like.
I mean, how long will you live? That's always based on genetics and certain choices.
That's like that website. What is it called? Like Death. Not Death Clock, because that's a band. It's like
I know
Death Counter. Maybe,
yeah.
I know
it's
like it gives you like there's a timer counting down to your death, and it's like right to the second.
Yeah. I mean, I know. I guess like on the topic of marijuana, I know that like it's a psychoactive thing rather than like a stimulant thing.
It's not. I wouldn't quite put it in the hallucinogenic boat, though.
No. See,
it's like the lowest form of like psychoactives.
Well, psychoactive drugs and hallucinogenic drugs are actually 2 very different things.
Hallucinogenic is just a very like extreme branch of.
Well, no, psychoactives are uppers, right? Whereas hallucinogenics are neither uppers nor downers,
right?
Because like they just are what they are, right? And like you.
Wait, psychoactives are uppers?
Yeah.
You'd say so even indica, you'd say is like.
Well, see. It's
because I thought it was like 2 very distinct. There's sativa and there's indica. Sativa's the wake up and indica's the go to sleep.
Yes.
Like the THC versus CBD or something.
The THC and CBD, they're 2 different like chemicals, but it's still THC and CBD, both of which are technically uppers. I think. I know that psychoactives are like mental uppers. They're physical downers.
Thoughts per minute.
Yes. So it basically like the way that I've always thought about it is it makes your mind think more, and because of that, it makes your body sort of like
not able
as
to catch up with
reactive.
it.
Exactly. And
your
that's
mind's like steps ahead of your body.
Yeah. And that's sort of what like hallucinogenics do, is like the stronger the hallucinogen, the less you're going to be able to even move.
Right.
Because like
you're on salvia and it's just like you're a piece of cloth in the Andromeda galaxy for 5 minutes or something.
Yeah. Or like even like DMT, you know. You'll
Don't
be like,
quiz me on that. I'm very well versed.
Right. Yeah. You'll be like knocked out, and like because your brain is just like blasting off somewhere crazy.
I'm quite familiar how that works.
Yeah. You just, I mean, if it's what is it? Ayahuasca.
That's basically like DMT on steroids.
Well, yeah, I mean it's DMT on DMT on DMT.
Stuff.
Yeah. And it's like a 12-hour DMT trip, and it just like you like.
But you're not astral projecting the whole time, are you? I don't think you can.
Yeah. Well,
really?
it's not. It's
like because your body's on autopilot while you're astral projecting, and that can only last for like 5 or 10 minutes.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that it's an astral projection. Astral projection can be done without the use of DMT or psychedelic drugs. Astral projection,
like certain types of meditation.
DMT is more of like less of a spatial thing and more of a like a dimensional thing, I would say, because you're able to see like much more dimensional fields, if you know what I'm saying. So like that's why it's so indescribable to like say like what you see, is because you see like the normal shapes, but the normal shapes are like more dimensional, you know?
Yeah, it's like peeling back the curtain and
exactly.
It's like heightened.
Exactly, yeah.
You get to tune into all the frequencies, see colors that your eyes, aren't the spectrum.
Aren't normally able to see, because your brain is the thing that perceives everything.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, is it really such a bad thing to experience more of reality? And it's
that's the thing.
That's the debate. It's like that. That's the argument from the people. It's like, is that like. Is it like, how is that harmful? It's like, that's why people say like things like shrooms or LSD or something can be educational, because it's like it doesn't show you what you want to see. It doesn't just like make you like happy and like not caring about things. It shows you what you need to see.
Well, see, ultimately it shows you what you want to see, but not what you want to see, what your subconscious wants to see, right? Because you
learn more about yourself in the process.
Exactly, and that's like when you say like
that's not a bad thing in my opinion.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I mean,
you're able to take more control over your life then, instead of losing control over your life, like heroin or like meth or something. It's like you're like gaining more awareness.
Well, to be fair, all of that addiction, all of that physical addiction is actually like more mental than you think. Like heroin is like 1%. Yeah. I mean, like heroin is like 1% morphine, right? Morphine is like, they use that like in hospitals, like I said, and it's like the effects that like you have
half my family members have been under the influence of morphine at some point in a hospital, like legally.
And you're not hooked on it instantly like a lot of people are on heroin. I wouldn't say a lot of people, but some people are on heroin, and it's all just like a mental thing. It's because they turn to that because they feel like they can't turn to anything else, right?
It's
which is why
the only reason they're still alive is because they have that.
And I mean,
escape.
And that's the reason why it's extremely important to embrace addicts rather than to push them away, because then they're just going to continue to be addicts. So
the first step is understanding.
Absolutely,
Like, you have to see things from their point of view.
Yeah.
So, like, which is better in your opinion, Coca-Cola or Pepsi?
Okay, so I have to say Pepsi. I don't like how sweet Coca-Cola is. It's a little bit sweeter.
Okay, wait a minute. First of all, are we talking? This is something I expected you to say immediately, but are we talking like straight up Coca-Cola the soda or Pepsi the soda, or Coca-Cola the company including all of the sodas that they make, or Pepsi the company including all of the sodas they make? Because like if we're talking like Mountain Dew, Dr. Pepper, Sprite, like that depends. I'm not thinking of either one in particular when I ask that question, but which one are you interpreting it as?
See, I would say both. I would say both is Pepsi.
So Pepsi's the winner?
Pepsi's the winner.
Is that just because there's a Pepsi machine right here?
No. Actually, my
This podcast is sponsored by Pepsi now.
My grandfather worked head of security at this Tropicana, not this one. Maybe this one? He worked head of security for Tropicana at some point, which is owned by Pepsi. And
really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So Pepsi's getting their filthy hands in my orange juice.
Yeah. Tropicana is actually really clean, though. That smell that you smell outside every once in a while? It smells terrible. That's a orange processing plant for Tropicana.
Right. Well, there's like 5 different smells.
It's like
on Glades Cutoff Road, there's like 5 different smells. Like there's the landfill, which is right next door to the Tropicana plant. Then there's the Walmart thing, and then there's the the Budweiser.
It's like the distinct smell of like filthy chemicals.
Okay, yeah, I can relate to that. Yeah. I don't want to get too much into personal details, but I have plenty of experience with filthy chemicals.
Yeah. I feel it, man. But I would definitely say like Coca-Cola, like just as like the colas themselves, Coca-Cola is like really too sweet.
Yeah, that's one thing I found. But Pepsi has like the same amount of sugar.
Yes, but it's like it's like, you know how Dr. Pepper has like that sort of like more like crisp taste? That's the way that like Pepsi is towards Coca-Cola. You know, it's got like a more crisp, sweet taste rather than just like we're just going to throw like all of this sweet your way. You know?
Yeah, it's like otherwise like the cliche answer to like how to make something taste good is just just put a bunch of sugar and sweeteners in it and then it'll taste good.
Yeah,
it's kind of like the Coca-Cola strategy as opposed to Pepsi's like no, let's get more scientific than that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean.
I'm not taking sides with anyone in this debate. I'm just saying, I'm trying to explain it from a psychological perspective. Yeah.
But,
that's all semantics as far as I'm concerned.
Right. I mean, here and there. It's weird. I didn't used to drink a lot of soda. I always just drank water. But recently, after working at KFC Taco Bell, they just have free soda. So, because you don't want to pay for it.
Well, and it's so cheap too. You probably get that stuff for like a nickel per dollar thing.
Oh, it's like I looked at it the other. I think it was yesterday. I saw it. It's like $5 for like a giant box of.
Like how many ounces?
I don't know how many ounces.
Like 1,000?
It's a lot. It's just, but it's just the syrup.
Like 12 gallons?
Yeah. It's just the syrup, though.
What does that mean?
Like, you know how you have the syrup and then you have like the carbonated water?
Wait a minute. I gotta pause you right there.
Yeah.
Syrup versus syrup. You say syrup. I say syrup.
Why?
I know the U, like it sounds like it's pronounced with an I when I say syrup.
Yeah.
Like syrup, but I guess it's maybe just like what your like parents say when they're raising you or something. But it's like it's always been syrup to me. Like
I think my dad always said syrup, but that just sounds so weird to me. You know?
Yes. Well, syrup sounds weird to me, but I guess that's how it's spelled. I mean, I don't know. Then again, sugar should be sugar. Because there's no H and there's a lot of berry should be burry, which is how some people say it. But I say berry because that's what everyone else
says. People say burry to pronounce berry?
Yeah, like James Ralph of Cinemassacre, who actually introduced me to that paradox.
That's weird. Yeah, there's a lot of things in the English language that if I were Korean or something learning English, I would just
English. Yeah, English is probably one of the toughest languages to learn.
Absolutely.
It's like that. I mean, that uses the alphabet anyway. Because I don't know about all the other hieroglyphs and stuff, but it's just the pronunciation makes little sense. That's why you gotta get. That's why hats off to foreigners. It's just hey, I'm impressed you're just able to speak the language. I'm not gonna critique you for spelling and pronouncing. But anyway, it's just the syrup, the boxes.
Yeah. It's this big box of syrup. It's you twist it on or whatever, and it's got the carbonation machine up top, and it just feeds water in, and it'll last 3 or 4 days. And that's with a lot of people coming in to get soda. So.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually it's a really cool system. We have this rack with a bunch of boxes of different types of soda and stuff like that. It's
well, they have Pepsi there too, right?
Yeah.
It's Pepsi instead of Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
so that might lean your bias toward that.
Well, yeah, but if I go to like a store or whatever, and like if I go to like 7-Eleven or something, I'm going to buy a Pepsi. I'm not going to buy a Coca-Cola, right?
Why do they have both?
Well, yeah.
Well, I guess most gas stations do, but I got into a debate with a family member one time for like, point out a place like a soda fountain.
Yeah.
That has both Coca-Cola and Pepsi. And originally I'm like, oh, yeah, a lot of places do. And then I started taking note every time we went somewhere, it was always one or the other.
Yeah.
Like, oh, crap, I guess.
Yeah. It's
wow.
like a partnership
thing. Yeah, because it's like, we don't like, oh, what's that? You buy soda from our competitor? Well, it's kind of petty in my opinion. But it's like, really, it's like company loyalship. Loyalty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there is also, like, the whole concept of, like, understanding that if you promote their company, they will like sell their product for less. Right. So like if you're getting both, then it's going to be more expensive. Because why would you just walk in somewhere and see a Pepsi machine and it's got Coca-Cola or like even just a regular soda machine, it's got Pepsi and Coca-Cola. Like
an unlabeled
exactly
revived garage products.
Yeah, like why would you want to go in there and like why would one of those companies want to go in there and see their product next to the other product?
That's like making equals. Nobody happy.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're just like taking everyone off.
And I mean, they're not going to sell you any cheaper unless like you said, company loyalty. You like promote their product because it is an advertisement, right? Because like it's a company that gives you drinks or whatever to use for your company, right? So they're in essence just promoting their product by like making their machine say Pepsi like right across the board, which is why this giant blue fucking machine. You know what the Pepsi logo is? Do you know what it
red, white, and blue?
Is? Well, yeah, but do you know what it is?
No.
It's an American smile.
Oh.
Yeah, see,
I could have guessed that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's an American smile.
I can't unsee that now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you look at it, you're like, holy shit, that's a weird-ass smile.
Yeah, I wonder if they came up with that. It's like America's soda.
Yeah.
It's like, isn't Pepsi newer than Coca-Cola, though?
Yes, but Coca-Cola had some issues with putting a gram of cocaine in each of their cans for like the first bit that they had it. So.
Wait, is that real?
Mm-hmm,
they actually did. Was it legal at the time?
Yeah, it was legal at the time because they
wait. So there was a
it.
time in the United States that cocaine was legal?
Yeah, there was a time in the United States when LSD was legal.
Well, that's more understandable.
Well, yeah, but, like, obviously it's going to be legal for some period of time because nobody knows that much about it yet, right?
I guess.
And then the companies got a hold of it and they were like, hey, we're going to use this fucking drug and put it inside of our shit so that people will want it.
There is that Tim Hortons conspiracy because Tim Hortons coffee spells out THC. And so they think they're putting weed in the coffee, and they have like other pastries and snacks there, so that you stay there and you get the munchies and
for the Canadian Tim Hortons, the Timmy's.
There's some in Pennsylvania. I've never been there, but
I don't think the ones in Pennsylvania are as good as the ones in Canada.
The ones across the border.
Yeah. Now that we're talking about outside of the country again, when I was 13, I went to South Africa. And,
oh, really?
Yeah. There's this park in the middle of the country called Kruger, and it actually takes up like a pretty large portion of the country, and it's just like this giant game reserve. And foreigners basically just go there to drive around in cars and like see wild animals.
Blasting through this nature reserve.
Yeah.
It shows no mercy in its approach.
Like when I was there, our car almost got flipped by an elephant because we were in its way.
So it's like Lion Country Safari times 1,000
more than
minus the security and the fences and stuff.
No, it has. It has the fence all the way around it, but it's like. It's the size of probably I mean, it's not a big country. It's probably the country's probably like.
Oh, so the whole country's like nature reserves?
I mean, basically, it's Africa, but like it's like there's like
probably
section.
like a city or something.
Well, it's not even a city. It's just like it's a third of the fucking country is cut off. Like imagine like a game reserve, a third of the size of Texas. That's how big it is. It's really big. And
and they let you drive through there?
Yeah, they just like
wow. I'm surprised.
I mean, it's not the United States.
I'm surprised it'd be like the Everglades, like no.
I mean, you're not allowed to get out of your car technically, but you just sort of drive through.
So you're allowed to drive, but you're not allowed to walk. That doesn't make much sense.
I mean, there's lions and shit, and the
well, it should be like at your own expense, It should be like, hey, if you want to, you might get eaten, but don't let that deter you.
Yeah, but then they have like a bunch of cars that are just empty, and like nobody wants to clean that shit up, right? I mean, I don't know. Like, who wants to go out and
clean up after the lions?
Yeah. I mean, my mom grew up in South Africa, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Wow. She grew up all over the world, Russia, all over Europe, South Africa.
How does that work? Like, what country was she born in?
Our family was my grandfather was Secret Service.
Oh, so that's its own country.
Yeah. Right. Well, he was, he was U.S. Secret Service, and he did Secret Service for the vice president, and then he did security for embassies. So, yeah, he
like
did
the hotel,
like the
embassy Inn and Suites.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a really big downgrade. Yeah, but he was like all over the world. I think he's been to every country in the world except for like 3.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of fucking countries too.
There's 196. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you have many stories from all that. Like, you're enriched with.
Yeah, I mean here and there. I've got more stories about like. Just like living life, like especially within the past few years.
Stories about living life. I mean, geez, everybody's got those.
Well, yeah, but like the past few years for me has been absolutely
like just
insane.
the other day. Like I was breathing and like and blinking, and it's like whoa,
it's like crap. Wow.
This is like I'm on some like 7th dimension. Like,
yeah.
But honestly, but like cutting back to the sandwich, like
is there a camera in here?
I don't think so. But cutting back, okay, I'm not gonna ask. Anyway, so cutting back to the sandwich, is there Professor Clemens or Chemistry Steve? Like, who's gonna prosper?
What do you mean? I don't know either of those people.
Well, I mean, I think isn't that the point? One of them I made up, and one of them I didn't.
Okay,
I'm not gonna tell you which
what
one.
are they?
Professor Clemens or Chemistry Steve?
One of them are made up. I mean, I would say Chemistry Steve literally has chemistry in his name. Like, that is his first name, I would
Unless
assume.
it's a nickname.
Yeah, but like...
Unless his name's like Steve, Steven, and it's just like, hey, Chemistry Steve. Call me Chemistry Steve.
Call me Chemistry Steve. But like, he's so confident in himself that he tells people to call him Chemistry Steve. Yeah, so like...
Maybe.
I mean... I would definitely say Chemistry Steve. Because, like,
over Professor Clemens?
Yeah, because, like...
I mean, Professor Clemens is a professor, man.
Yeah,
he's got a degree. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, sure, he has a degree,
but, like... multi-million-dollar operation.
But, like, he's a... No, he's not. He's a professor. How much do you think these people get paid?
He's not your average professor. That's not all he does. He doesn't, like, teach classes or anything.
So does he do chemistry, too, or...
Well, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag here. Chemistry Steve, I made up. Professor Clemens, I didn't, as a pre-existing thing.
Yeah, I had no idea.
You ever read H.P. Lovecraft?
I've heard of it.
You heard of him?
Oh, yes.
You ever watch Ephemeral Rift?
No.
Because that really plays upon it more.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't really help then.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, Professor Clemens is like, I mean, I think that's what DC Comics actually, when they used the title Arkham Asylum, I think, was actually taken from the old like 1800s like Arkham Sanitarium like fiction things of like the whole like New England area, because then you have like Salem, Massachusetts and stuff like that, and then it came to
of course you have Salem. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Of course you have Salem. Damn witches. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Oh, man.
It's like, hey, 64 Bridge Street, Salem, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
But,
what do you think about, like, the whole, like, hanging people for being witches and doing magic sort of thing?
I think it's one of the staples of human existence, basically.
Yeah.
It's like it accurately describes the mindset of humans as primitive savage creatures.
Skeptics, yeah. I mean, do you think it was necessary? Do you think like we should have been killing all those
honestly,
women?
I'm just trying to like. I mean, I honestly, I spend more time thinking about the future than the past, so I'm not that well versed in a lot of history of things.
Right. I mean, you don't need to know too much about it. They just sort of like killed a fuckload of women for no reason. Which, I mean, isn't anything new. We do that all the time, but
then again, like what happened before they killed them, like what did they do with them before, so I was like...
Yeah.
Yeah, or after, if that's
I don't think that we're allowed to talk about that. I think that's the one thing that we're not allowed to talk about on the internet.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, well, in 2019 maybe, but I mean, I'm just saying that, like, like, there's contextual evidence to everything, like, contextual things is like, why do they get killed? It's like, you can make up anything as a cover story. Yeah. You could say like, oh, she was probably a witch anyway or something like, you could say anything you want, but it's like very little evidence, for anything. It's like people were very gullible back then, so it's like
yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Like,
just, I mean, that's like saying, what do I think about like Galileo being executed for like saying that the Earth is round or it goes around the sun or whatever he said. It's
I thought you were about to say because Galileo said the N-word, but like I don't know why. I don't know why that just crossed my mind. I'm like, wow.
You might have. I don't know. I mean,
he might have said the N-word.
I mean, up until like when did that stop being okay? I don't like ever since slavery was abolished. I guess.
Oh no, way past that.
Past that?
Yeah.
Like
people still say it
back
now.
Or like white people, I mean.
Oh,
or was it never okay? Was it always just like,
I would say like the 80s or 90s.
1980s, 90s? Like
yeah.
20th century?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
So like 1950s and 60s, like it was still okay?
I think that...
Or was it like maybe the Civil Rights Act of the 60s, like 64 or 67?
I think it was like the Vietnam War.
So that was the 60s?
Yeah. I think like post-Vietnam War. Like maybe like 10, 15 years after the Vietnam War. Because like, you had all those hippies and they were like, oh, love everything. They were all, that's when LSD was big, and then they were like, what?
Like John Lennon coming
and then they decided,
Jimi
black
Hendrix.
people are actually people too, which is like, I don't know how the fuck you didn't know that.
Concept.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how do you, like, it's literally like, black people, like it says people.
Matter,
it says people in the second part of that. Like I don't know how you don't
folks,
realize that. Yeah,
colored folks.
Yeah, colored folks. Yeah, because they didn't want to say people.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's more like 1800s. I think like by the time the 20th century came around, it was more like, all right, well, you know what, these like
I don't think that this is safe because like I said my address and now we're two white guys talking about racism. So like
you didn't know where you live.
Yeah.
You get the access code.
I'm not actually racist, I promise.
Oh no, neither am I. I hope nobody thinks that.
I've got tons of black friends. I'm not a racist. Yeah, that whole thing.
I feel like that's a quote from someone.
I feel like that's a quote from everybody. I think everybody said that at some point.
That's a really stupid defense, though.
Yeah.
Because like why that doesn't prove anything.
Yeah, I mean there was a dude in the KKK that was friends with a black dude.
Like it doesn't. Yeah. Well, and there might even be. I'm not sure. There might even. Or well, I guess not. I was gonna say there might be black people in the KKK, but I guess not, right? Because they probably wouldn't be allowed in.
If they're like colorblind or like blind.
Well, because I was saying like there were black people that fought on the on the Confederate side of the Civil War.
Yeah, but they were sort of forced, weren't they? They were slaves.
I'm not sure.
I mean, they were also not too like.
I mean, there are still some pro-slavery black people. Like
really?
I've talked to some. Yeah. Like,
really?
They still exist. Like there are some people that say like, freeing the slaves was our biggest mistake and stuff like that. I'm not taking side with them.
Or they just believe that it still happens.
No, they're pro-slavery.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Wow. I've never heard of that.
Well, of course slavery still happens. I mean, that's a given. It's just more psychological now instead of physical.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Like, you can't, like, you're going to get arrested if you go out and, like, whip someone and, like, and tie them in chains. Like, you can't do that anymore, but there's still, like, a lot of very more complex things that still go on. But, like,
like psychopathic tendencies where they try and manipulate people to do what they want. Everybody's their slave sort of thing.
I guess, but like, would you rather be a blueberry or a strawberry? I mean this literally too. Like, I'm actually talking about fruit.
Yeah. Strawberries sort of look wonky. But like, blueberries have that weird like flower thing on the top.
But like, which would you rather be?
That's the thing though. I think strawberries last longer, don't they? I'm pretty sure they do.
I have no idea. I mean, they're bigger, so they probably have more like blubber to shield them from the seals in the Antarctic Ocean or wherever they live. I don't know.
Right. I mean, I feel like it's easier being a strawberry because like you have like the seeds all around you, so can't you just like grow another one?
Maybe. Like the starfish of the fruit family.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like, but like you can't really like walk around or anything. See, like that's my main thing is
the blueberries can walk around.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're more rollable though. Like if you try and roll a strawberry, it just goes in a circle, right?
Yeah. I mean, you got to pick the lesser of two evils. Honestly.
Yeah. I mean, you can tumble as a blueberry. I would say strawberry because strawberry like. You want to serve your purpose, you know, and like
you want
you have like
your
the
life
seeds.
to the cause.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you want to grow more strawberries.
Yeah, that's it's a noble cause. Yeah, it's like you live to reproduce.
You got to be inside of the mind of the strawberry.
All right, so nice. Yeah, be the strawberry.
Yeah.
All right, we got like 8 minutes till my class starts, so we got time for one more discussion topic. I'll let you choose since you're a first time guest on here.
Ooh, that's a big one.
I mean, we could talk about immortal jellyfish. I'm just saying, but otherwise,
Out of curiosity, what's your major?
As it stands, music. I'm toggling with whether or not to change it to business because that would actually do more for me as far as like short term. Which is kind of, I'm living day to day right now, but definitely long term music, is what. Right. But the point is, I don't need a degree like to be a musician. Yeah. It would. I guess I don't need a degree to be a businessman, but it's really closer to being necessary than a music degree. Well, it's like I'm basically self teaching myself music now. Yeah. It's like.
Well, how many instruments do you play?
Let's see, piano, guitar, vocals, 3.
That's it, really?
Oh, you thought it was more?
I did actually. I play 14.
14?
Yeah, I do.
What?
I don't count vocals. I would say if you want to count vocals, I mean, I'm not like super great, but I'd say 15.
I mean, today anybody can sing, but that's only because of artificial technology. But I mean, if you want to like actually sing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not like bad or anything, but like I'm not like anybody crazy. I'm glad that you said music though. Music majors are great. I love art major. Like
I'm at the wrong campus. If I was at a main campus, I'm sure I took this. I was excited for the first day of class in my music class here because I'm like, I'll meet some people to be in a band with, and I'll get in a studio and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Do you have a studio?
No, I don't.
Do you know anybody who has a studio?
No. I mean, not here in Richmond, in Virginia.
Oh, well, that doesn't help me.
Yeah. I actually don't know very many people here.
But, anybody with, on the Treasure Coast, basically?
Maybe. I don't know anybody directly, so...
Yeah, because I'm looking to get on the end of that, because, if I get in a studio, I'll just,
Yeah. Out of curiosity, do you think that you're vegetarian, right? Why are you vegetarian?
I don't consider animals food, I consider them like living creatures, you know. So I think.
What about plants? Plants are living. How do you know?
Well, you gotta draw the line somewhere. I mean, honestly, that's an argument that only hallucinogenic enthusiasts can use. Honestly, it's like you can only say that if you've like tripped really hard and you're like, no, listen, man, I did salvia yesterday. I know that plant is just as alive as.
Well, I'm not going to incriminate myself.
But that's like saying cutting grass is harmful to the grass. It's like, yeah, it is, but you know, it's the same thing as cutting hair. You know, it's like, is your hair alive, or are you killing part of yourself?
Well,
it's
yeah,
like,
but
that's a trippy argument,
That's a part of yourself, though, and your hair, like, those cells are not actually, like, living cells.
Right, but I don't, this whole thing, like, then we talk about, like, earthquakes and stuff. So, honestly, you just go to, like, either you drown in oatmeal or you don't, honestly.
Right.
So that's my answer. That's my answer of why am I a vegetarian? You either drown in oatmeal or you don't.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So it makes sense. We got time for like one more thing. We got like 2 minutes left of this podcast.
Okay. All right. Man, I don't know. Honestly, I have nothing that I can.
You got nothing.
Really
you have anything
to
plug? You got like a YouTube channel, a upcoming business, a friend's phone number you want to give out?
Just put a friend's phone number down. No, I mean, I would say you can follow my Instagram. It's what_even_is_pingoflip, PINGOFLIP. And
no comments on that.
Yeah. Also, if you'd like, I have two friends, SoundClouds, who actually just got signed for labels. They're EDM artists, and they just got back from New York and a bunch of places on the West Coast. It's Subarashi. I don't know how to spell it off the top of my head, and Jokey Sound, and they've got like Japanese names, and then they make really, really good music, but I always try and support the homies, you know.
So are they like together, or collaborative, or are they two separate?
Here and there they collaborate. They collaborate every once in a while, but for the most part they make their own music. They just get like really, really stoned and just like sit down and sit at their computer and mess around with settings.
Some Killjoy Killers kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But, all right. So, anything else you want to plug, promote, controversial claims to make, to go out with, or like debates to be settled here and now? Or
I mean, I think. Obviously, like, you know, Bush did 9/11, the whole 9 yards. Like, yeah, JFK was shot by George Bush. Oh, yeah. But George Bush
was a vinegar eel.
Yeah.
He's actually a shapeshifter.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, Hitler was vinegar eel. You know, he's a different kind. He's a different kind of vinegar eel. He was a purple one. He wasn't a green one.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, the different colors have, you know. It's kind of like the potatoes. It's like.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the potatoes. But, I mean, you either drown in oatmeal or you don't. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah.
That's the quote of the day today.
Right.
And, that's it.
Yeah.
I guess so. Goodbye, everyone. See you next episode.